Good morning. I'm Dan Starkey with Kern County Environmental Health. I think I know the majority of you have probably been to your facilities and inspected your sites, that type of thing. I get the great opportunity to talk about the executive order from Obama that talks about chemical facility and site security. And you know, just to kind of start off with, there's a lot of things that the government puts forth that I think we all probably question and wonder why they do it. However, this is one that I think is probably one that needed to be done and was kind of late in coming because of the fact of all the accidents and the things that have occurred. So this is something that that I think we need to kind of talk about and discuss. What I'll talk about basically is just kind of answer some questions. What are the main elements of the executive order? In what ways is it unique? What's California's role? And then what actions should we take to participate in implementing the order? Just a little background. The executive order pertains, what it basically says is that the manufacture, store, and distribute chemicals, that's what we're going to look at. And it also includes refineries. The executive order does not include transportation or any of those kind of things. And it was motivated primarily by the accident that was talked about, the ammonia nitrate accident that killed 15 people and injured about 160. And that incident, I think, kind of goes to the core of the reason why this whole thing was put forth. Because of that, and then the fact that we've had these regulations for a long time, and that we continue to have these types of accidents where people are killed, people are injured, and the facilities that you guys operate aren't that much different from the locations where these accidents occur. And so what this thing does is it points out that there's some common sense things we can do, and then it also says basically that we're to put together some working groups that are to kind of focus on the issues that would probably help strengthen the safety at facilities. Improve operational coordination with state and local partners, and that's coordinated by US EPA. You guys could probably ask yourself, how many times have regulators been to your facility one week, and then the next week some other guys show up, and then a couple days later someone else shows up, and they're all doing the same thing and looking at the same thing. So this kind of requires us to coordinate a little bit better, and to improve the public, improve public access to the community, to the information that's received. But you always hear, "We're here to help you," kind of thing. Well, actually, in this county, we actually are, and that's. I hope you guys realize that that's one of the things, one of our goals as a department is to help you guys achieve safer facilities, better compliance, and have safety plans and risk management plans and things that actually work, that you can actually use in the field and that make your facility safer. Modernize policies, regulations, and standards. That's one of the things that's been going on. The CalARP regulations have been in review, or whatever you want to call it, for I don't know, the last 5, 6, 7 years. They told us that things were going to change. They were going to clean up a lot of the legislation or a lot of the regulations and make them easier to understand and those types of things. And I think we're kind of getting to the point where that's actually going to happen. And then as far as OSHA goes, and I kind of forgot to tell you this, I'm actually Clyde from Bettis today. So I don't know if you guys know Clyde, but I don't really look like Clyde. And I don't think our department, I mean, we just have different roles. But because of that, OSHA has done the same thing. They're trying to clean up their regulations and the things that they do so that they are more closely aligned with federal EPA and those types of things, so that there's not fusion and overlap and those types of things, so that we actually will have regulations that are a little more streamlined and that people can actually stand. the workplace stakeholders to identify the best practices. And one of the things is that's you guys. You guys are the stakeholders as well as we. I know that there have been workshops and places where you can comment. I think I looked at the website last night. I think there's been 20 comments regarding either the OSHA regulations or the new RMP regulations, and a big chunk of those were Greenpeace. But still, there's a lot of people making comments and trying to improve the regulations from your side of the aisle, because a lot of times regulators don't see the same thing and don't understand the same thing. And so this gives you the opportunity to put input in where it's needed. Now, the ways that the executive order is unique is it again, it requires cooperation between all the federal and local and agencies. Now, I don't know if anybody's familiar with the California Refinery Task Force, but that's worked very well. Paul mentioned it. Basically, the agencies have gotten together and looked at best practices, looked at those kind of things, and it looks like Contra Costa County was probably the leader and had been for a while in that, and so they've adopted their industrial safety ordinance into the regulations, and basically it looks like it's going to be a much improved and better implemented program by doing it that way. As far as California goes, they kind of talk about, the executive order talks about a pilot program, and really and truly California isn't a pilot program, but they're basically a stakeholder, because we've decided to kind of lead the pack, and actually it looks like that's what's going on, because I think a lot of the regulations are coming from Contra Costa, federal RMP, and those kind of things. So it's kind of a package that I think is going to work. And I think the executive order basically gives us an opportunity to be stakeholders, to try to help shape the regulations so that they actually are meaningful and that they will actually work. Because I think we all know there's some regulations that we wonder why they were put in place, and maybe by someone who doesn't understand the industry that you're in, or something like that. So this is an opportunity for all of us to do that. The executive order, basically, how many people have ever read the executive order? Could I have a show of hands? How many people have actually read that? There's not very many. It might be a good idea if you get a chance to do that. And then a couple of other things is if you go online, there's a few locations where you can find fact sheets that'll actually go through and give you updates as to what they're doing and where things are at with the federal regulations, with the state, with those types of things. And other than that, that's about all I have. Thank you.